You can, seriously. I mean, we're stars. You can do whatever. And Vader's like, oh, I don't know. And Scorp's like, no, watch. Here, come with me. That's good enough as any way to start the show. Welcome to Wrestling is Gross. My name is Bucky.
My name is Siobhan.
My name is John.
We've got John. Oh, yeah. We've got Lucha Spreadsheet Master. John is here from Twitter at Another Spammer, who we've talked about coming on the show forever, who I have shared an Airbnb with, and drugs and tacos and whatnot. And we've watched CMLL Sunday opening matches on a Airbnb PS4 together. So, we're friends. This friend of mine, John. I do want to say,
what did we split the IW what the hell is the wrestling group that told us the weed chocolate bar?
That was Stoney from ICW NHB. Yeah. She does the branded weed chocolate. Yeah, that's right. I think she's back at it too. I think she took some time off. I think she's back at it. So shouts out to her. We saw IWA King of the Death matches together, right? In 2021.
That was there.
Indiana. And but the first time we hung out was at NGI 2019.
Yeah.
Where I think I don't know what Mike Stocks and Brandon were there. Everybody was Boston Nuga was there. Everybody was there.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, we met Lane. It was a great
Chris
day.
Was there. Lane was there. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris and Ty were there. And so, but that was the day that I remember. That was the first time I met you, and we knew you were going to be there. I was going to meet you there, and. But you had gone to the afternoon show, which was Black Label Pro Turbo Graps Tog 1 and Tog 2, which I believe started at 11 in the morning and finished around 6 p.m.
Yeah, I got to see, what was it, Hornswoggle versus Marco Stunt or something.
Yeah, I think Brian Alvarez might have worked one of the but no, when I got there, I was like, are you watching the show? And you were like, I asked John, what's the match that's on? And he's like, oh, I'm in the woods reading some philosophy book or some shit. he was reading the Myth of Sisyphus in the woods behind the summit. So that's how I met John. And John has a spreadsheet, which was the concept that got us here. And really one of the greatest, truly, man, one of the greatest things on the internet. The Cubs fan match guide is not what it used to be.
It's not.
He does a great job. He uploads all the stuff, all the CMLL going in separate files in the drive. He's a great, God bless Cubs fan, weird guy. Sat behind him at an AAW show, watched him tweet a bunch. He didn't say a word to anyone. But that's all right. It takes all kinds, and what a resource. But he doesn't actually know shit when it comes to the sick and dirty. I mean, he does. I'm gonna get past this. Stop talking about him.
He's a normie.
He's a very dedicated and excellent at doing what he does. But he doesn't know. He doesn't have a spreadsheet full of the sick, dirty shit, the handhelds, the cell phone matches. When I got
I feel like a freak every once in a while. I send him a message like, hey, this results you got for this show in front of 50 people, and with some 15-year-old kids you never heard of. You got these results wrong.
Yeah, I think you might have mistranslated this. No, I could. Do you have a relationship with the Cubs fan?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, half of what I find and stuff. Obviously, like you said, he's an amazing resource to the community. But no, I just send him messages and emails here and there. I don't know him too well.
Sure. Well, if you're lucky enough to go to a LaSalle show, and he'll be there for the Vikingo and Penta Dreamwave next month or whatever.
I think I was at that LaSalle show that you were at too. That AEW.
I imagine so. I think it was before we were friends, but yeah.
Yeah.
Just before though, just right there before. The spreadsheet, which I was gonna, the episode of the title of the episode was just gonna be John's spreadsheet, but we're gonna do something more creative than that. But the spreadsheet of matches is not just Lucha handhelds. Obviously, your spreadsheet has had. I mean, what, 2022? I think one of your biggest matches of the year was Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. Is that right?
Oh,
or
yeah,
2020, whatever year that was.
Yeah, I love that match, that WrestleMania match. Yeah, no, I keep track of every. So I started it, because a couple years ago, you get these end of the year lists. Now you got the Chris 100, but back, the WKO 100, stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I never really, I'd read these things, but I never really participated. Because I thought, these guys watch way more wrestling than me, and I don't know enough, blah, blah, blah. But then I kind of thought about it a little bit. I was like, no, these are all just idiots like I am. It's not,
These people all have their corner and their niche that they are going to be leaning towards, yeah. Yours happens to be a corner that less people are looking at.
Yeah, that's very true.
The path to the inner self is the realization that the inner self of everybody else is stupid.
Yeah, the myth of Sisyphus, yes, I know, yes.
Because I started keeping this, because I felt, you do these end of the year lists, and you watch, CMLL matches, and you think a guy like Hechicero, one of the best wrestlers on the planet, but so much of their career is, just dicking around in undercard CMLL matches that, no one's going to talk about, right? So that's why I started keeping a spreadsheet. Was I had this idea that I would be able to pick out these guys that have good performances in matches that aren't maybe great. But then I realized that's too much work, so it didn't.
So it just became the sickest shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is hard to make a comment about every like Ruhiro, this guy, he's really good, but it's hard to remember specific matches that he's really good in,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, so that's the thing, it came about, and your spreadsheet comes around 2017, 2018 is when you started compiling these things, I think. In the post, the Wrestling KO years, that very small message board that I don't know if anybody remembers. WKO Mike, shouts out.
Yeah, shouts out.
An early character on this show, actually, that I think we referenced a lot. I don't know if that board's still around. He probably is still on there.
Oh, yeah, I saw his 2022 list not so long ago. I remember he didn't have Pentaviano on it, and I thought, well, that was silly.
He must have missed it. He must have just missed it.
Yeah, there's...
No. So that's the place where I learned to love the Lucha Brawl and things like that. Was Wrestling KO. On Pro Wrestling Only and Death Valley Driver, there's rumor of a board that's even sicker and smaller. Do you know what I mean? Do you remember hearing about Wrestling KO? And it's Phil posts there, but there's also some people that you've never heard of. There's some real deep weirdos, Jet Lag's there, but there's some other weirdos who don't go to PWO, and they are even further off the fucking map than you're the real crazy wrestling fans. And I don't know where those people exist now. I guess they're all on Cage Match. They're all Germans on Cage Match, I assume. But yeah, so that led me to all of this stuff and these handhelds. That was the era of Black Terry Jr., which of course he figured out that he could, get paid for some of it, and I don't know how well that's done. Is Black Terry Jr. still filming matches? What's he doing?
You see him ringside sometimes on some of these videos, but the last time I got a list from him, it didn't have very recent stuff. He's doing photography, but he doesn't seem to be selling the matches of more recent stuff.
I mean,
or maybe he is doing camera work and they're putting it on, the groups that are on IWTV or whatever.
Yeah, maybe he's working with Mas Lucha or something. Yeah, so that was the era of that, and then Mas Lucha and Hector Godfrey TV and these incredible channels.
Fucking Hector Godfrey.
That's I'm so glad we got the best version of that match that we're going to talk about. This first one, well, I guess we'll say what the actual theme we ended up with was, beyond just matches from your spreadsheet and beyond just lucha brawls, we pinpointed one of our favorite buildings, which is Arena San Juan Pantitlán, which is in the city of San Juan. Is it? What's the deal here? The district.
It's in Neza, which is
Neza.
like part of Mexico City or a suburb. It's like in the western part of the DF.
Okay. And so you went. We should talk. Well, I guess we should talk about this at the top. You did go to Mexico, and you went to Arena Mexico, and you went to Puebla, and you went to like a Lucha festival thing, and
Yeah,
saw
in
Masanobu
2000.
Kurisu wrestle there or something.
Oh God.
Yeah. It was
At
in
the World
2018.
Trade Center building in Mexico City.
Yeah, the World Trade Center. Yeah.
What year was that? That was 2018?
2018. In September. Whenever it was like over Mexican Independence Day.
Sure.
Weekend.
Oh, so were you at the anniversary show?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was Matt Taven versus Rush.
You know what? A pretty good match. And Taven,
I like Volador and Madison Square Taven versus KV and Roosh. That's a
good match. Yeah. It's cool. It's so sick, man. That's such an exciting thing to go down there and see that. That's like one of the dreams.
Yeah, Arena Mexico was fantastic. They didn't all that. I didn't make it out to many of these smaller arenas because there was several bigger shows that weekend. There was the one you mentioned in the World Trade Center, which was a lot of old guys. Like Impact ran a show that weekend that I went to that used a lot of AAA guys and a lot of these indie guys like Freelance and Dragon Bane and guys like that. I went to Arena Lopez Mateos and saw
another
show
classic.
There. Yeah, another great arena. But yeah, I didn't make it to Naucalpan or San Juan Patitlán. But they say, I don't know, they say Neza's a real bad neighborhood. So
I mean, Googling it definitely doesn't look great. It does appear that this is the last Masanobu Kuriso match, and you saw it. Although I don't know if he's dead now, right?
He's still alive.
He's still alive, but he's probably not. I mean, if he hasn't wrestled in 5 years, but the match was Felino, Shigeo Okamura, who still lives down there and probably set this whole thing up, and Masanobu Kurisu, legend of FMW, and they wrestled Mano Negra, Solar 1 or Solar, and Viono 4, which is
that wasn't the oldest match on the show.
That's great. That's great.
Was Cian Cars there?
I see the main
diaper
event.
ass.
Yeah, that was the main event. Was like Dos Caras, Cian Cars, somebody versus
Atlantis,
like Negro
Casas,
Atlantis.
That's great, man. What a great experience. That's so cool, man. So that'll set the stage for your. So people know John knows his shit and
is a real motherfucker.
Yeah, and it has been influential in this show, absolutely. And and also I will say you have lovely kids, and you're great to share an Airbnb with and to hang out with at a wrestling show.
Yeah.
And also I ate like too much edibles, and I was in your little Mini Cooper. And I was really freaking out because it was such a small car. And that was on the way to the evening show for ICW.
Yeah.
Between shows. So that's the last thing I'll say about that.
But that's what I keep this spreadsheet with all the links and stuff because there is so much wrestling out there now with all these people uploading stuff to YouTube, with IWTV. You've got access. You've got access to stuff from. We've got more and more stuff from like South America, the weird African stuff, Southeast Asian stuff keeps popping up, like that Vietnamese groups or whatever.
So cool.
And there's all this good stuff out there. And some of it's, I don't know, WWE is not the only wrestling that people have to watch. Obviously, you guys obviously know, I don't think either of you watched. You probably watched less WWE this year than I have.
I don't know if that's true. I've seen a good bit.
I have, I would say that I definitely have seen less WWE than you, but I did watch all of Backlash.
Yeah, that's a good show. That's in the running for show of the year.
That's
Backlash.
A very good show.
Yeah.
And
that's like the one show I didn't watch.
Yeah, well, yeah, we should recognize Puerto Rico's estate. We keep saying this.
Either that or full independence. Whatever they want.
Right. So we're in San Juan Pantitlán in Neza, and you said west of Mexico City.
That might be east. It's east or west. I can't remember.
It is. It was on the east side, yes.
Okay.
The east side.
Side.
Had to be one of them. I guess not. I guess it could have been the north of the south. But it is a building where, Mexa Wrestling is the name of the company that 3 of these 4 matches are under the banner of. But they, there've been, Chalanga Mask doesn't run there. Who runs there?
Chalanga Mask ran there
Yeah.
in 2021.
Okay.
What was it? What was the name of the one? Like the King Wolf or something like
Yeah,
that?
the Wolf King. That's who.
Wolf King.
That's who
Wolf
seems to be
King.
running there now. It doesn't have quite the same level of names.
I love the idea that there is these people were like, "What's the name of our promotion?" It's the Wolf King, and this is like English is their second language, right? It's great. So these matches, they all
Kara Lucha. That was the other group that would run there, I think.
okay.
Yeah.
This building, it's one of those buildings that's taller than it is wide. It's like
Yeah.
it's built straight up. It's got 2 levels of balconies. So it's kind of like the Coliseo. Is that right? The Coliseo is the one that's built sort of up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's really neat. I don't know what the application for this kind of building would be, except for we don't have a lot of space, so we're going to build it tall instead of wide because there's people live everywhere. I imagine
this building feels like a natural sports venue. Like it's hard to picture this being too useful for anything other than like boxing and wrestling.
they could do like Olympic ping pong,
Oh, that'd be fucking sick.
It's a good size thing for tennis, I guess.
I would so watch table tennis at the goddamn Arena San Juan Petalon.
People are throwing beers on the fucking somebody like hit somebody with a crate. No, at the Olympic level, they do blade during the ping pong. All right.
No Vince TV bands there.
Yeah, right. Yeah. God. Yeah, the Alonzos, they can't stop us from doing. Is that right? Did I get the joke right?
Yeah.
They're the ones who don't let him bleed. Okay.
Paco Alonso and whoever, yeah.
Yeah.
Sophia Alonso. I think she got ousted. I have no idea. Like
you always hear little bits of those politics that are happening with CMLLs.
CMLL and AAA both have. I have no fucking clue at any time, and it's like, let it be said, we have no fucking clue about WWE.
That's true.
We don't really know that much about AEW. Tony Khan is running most of the
and does a ton of stuff and probably should hire other people to do it.
Yeah, and it's like we assume that like Don Callis and Jericho and
you can guess
people,
who the influential names are, but at this point with WWE and the buyout,
the TKO,
who knows how many people every decision has to go through anymore, So it's
or how often it's just Triple H or something, or just Shawn just talking dogging and Wesley, I like the kid.
Yeah, he does like Wesley. I think Wesley was at those AEW shows. Wesley is
Des Xavier.
Yeah, Des Xavier.
Yeah, one of the Rascals. Yeah. You've probably seen him.
Live like 5-10 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get into these. We've got 4 matches, and they represent a pretty wide swath of Mexico City indie guys. This first one is the cleanest of them all. This is a 3-way tag match. It is from Mexa Wrestling, March 24th, 2018.
My 26th birthday.
Oh, nice. Right.
Fucking old.
Right. Jeez.
Oh, fucking old. Shouts out, Dory.
I'm going to shout him out later when we get to the match with the 4 Dory Funks in it. Or the 2 Dory Funks, rather. This is Eterno and Ricky Marvin versus Belial and Impulso versus
2/3 of the Indie Strongables.
Versus Astrolux and Freelance. Indie Strongtibles. Indie Strongtibles? Is that right?
Yeah,
because you said it a lot less stupid.
Indestructibles.
Yeah,
because they're indie guys and they're strong, but they're
but they're also indestructible. Yeah, I mean, it always made sense to me. All right, the building, it's the balconies, it's the concrete stairs, it's tall as hell. A lot of the times in San Juan Patitlan, which this is, I took the scenic route, but this is in essence the San Juan Patitlan episode. That is the one key theme here, is all these matches took place in this building. Similar to how we did an episode on the Coliseo Colcalco.
Yes.
And eventually we'll probably do a De Huesadero episode or whatever, and could do plenty of such episodes.
Sure, there's a good amount, like what we could do for an Arena Lopez Mateos or something like that.
We'll get
who the hell knows?
The Shinkiba First Ring episode everybody's been waiting for since Nutsville Xmas. People have been waiting for that one.
Oh yeah, dude.
You gotta retweet Nutsville Xmas. Remind me to do that, or you could do that.
I will. Yeah.
All right, so we start with a pair of Acai moonsaults, and I get into the thing where I'm already unclear on who's who, which is a thing that happens with handheld, no commentary Lucha Libre pretty often for me. But I fell into it pretty quick. This is shot from the lower balcony. A lot of the time it will be like a one camera shot from one of the balconies. And it's always very watchable. There's not a bad seat in the house. Unless you're like the guy who gets somebody Death Valley drivered onto him. Like that's probably not where I would sit. But that doesn't happen in this one, I don't think. I think it's Ricky Marvin and Freelance, I believe, do the initial Acai moonsaults, right? But it might have been
definitely Freelance. I think it was Ricky Marvin.
Yeah. So they start with lots of attempted roll-ups. This is uploaded to a channel that is called Tortas Super Astro y Sin Afloyar Video Blog.
So you have to presume that it is.
I don't know what afloyar is.
I don't know what that is either, but I have to presume that this is affiliated with in some way with
the tortoise shop.
Super Astro's famous sandwich shop where they make the gigantic sandwiches for people, which I love. That's one of the most Philly things of all time to me. That it's just like you just go there and you get a giant sandwich, and it's like 17 pounds of sandwich.
I never get the torta. I've had one maybe ever. I always get tacos over a torta or a burrito.
I like a good torta. They're one of the. I wouldn't say they're an acquired taste. They're just like. You just don't think about them, and especially if you're an American.
Yeah, right. John, you've probably got a spot that you get a torta from there that you like.
I don't eat meat, so.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh God. See, this was the other thing. This is the one downside to hanging out with John is it's hard to eat with him. But that's okay. I mean, God bless you. But it is. It was a thing. I'm remembering now.
Yeah,
remembering significantly.
Yeah. I was walking all over looking for.
We were looking for a place like within walking distance. I was like, well, there's tons of places.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah.
But they're like, no, unless you want like 5 pounds of beef, we got nothing for you, man.
Okay, well, that's the tortoise conversation over with, I guess. All right, so Impulso is in yellow, right? Yeah, Impulso is yellow. Belial is yellow with the mask. Astrolux, the very tiny Astrolux, is also he's Drago Kid now.
He is Drago Kid.
Yes.
I saw him twice at Expo Lucha last year
eating
in
a bagel
Philly.
Or something.
He was eating. Yeah, I wanted to bring it up. He was by himself in what I recall it as a tracksuit, but I could be wrong. Wearing his Drago Kid mask, looking so tiny, eating a chicken Caesar salad in the concession area at the 2300 Arena, and nobody talked to him, and I should have said something, because I'm like, oh, I fucking know that dude. It's fucking Astrolux. Drago Kid. And I just didn't want to bother him while he was eating a chicken Caesar salad, though, man.
Where did he get now, do they have good food at the 2300?
They just got, like, hot dogs and shit.
He wouldn't have got a chicken Caesar salad there.
They definitely have salads.
They do? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So how short is he?
Oh, he has got to be 5'1" at most.
Okay.
Yeah, he's very skinny here too.
He's got that, and the Drago Kid mask looked massive.
That's a bulky costume. The whole thing. Yeah.
Like Big Drago, who is not a big man, but is like not a mini either.
No.
That mask always looked big on him.
Yeah.
This motherfucker, this is like half his body mass.
Oh, Drago kid.
But he stole the show that weekend. I think he was really, really good, and I was expecting him to be good, and he delivered. He and Demus really worked well together. I think he was probably the breakout star of the weekend, aside from maybe the now canceled ASF.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that guy. that guy had a real clean front handspring. If you know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about.
You remember him. But he got canceled.
Antonio San Francisco or something.
Antonio San Francisco. Yeah. He was like grooming a 13-year-old or some bullshit like that.
It was a nasty one. Yeah, he got really mega canceled.
Yeah, he
might have gone to jail.
He might be in fucking jail. He wrestled like 4 times that weekend. He was all over the shit. And but I thought Astrolux made him like look like a fucking cheap suit. I thought Astrolux was the best guy there.
I mean, ASF got
the flippy guys
canceled enough that he's not in Mexican Indies anymore.
Yeah. Oh, he's that canceled. God, he can't even hang out with Travis Banks.
He was a Laredo guy, so like I don't know how much he worked, but he could have still worked the border. It's not that. I mean, shit. I don't know what other skills you have, man.
Yeah, but the president in those states is like way worse than, so maybe he's really having a hard time. Shouts out ASF. Not so much, actually. So we get, all right, so the tiny Astrolux gets destroyed with like a couple of just meaningless drivers that Impulso does. He's just hitting him with Hiromus. And then Ricky Marvin kills Impulso with the best DDT you've ever seen. And then Belial comes in with this crazy flying body scissor, and Marvin flies out of the ring, and it's super fast. And then Freelance is in super fast, and he's fucking 45 years old or something. He's been doing this tricky double springboard shit into a Rana. He's been doing this for like 20 years. At least, right? Maybe even
I think he started in the 90s.
Yeah, I was gonna say 25, 30. I don't.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's Mexico. I'm gonna look him up.
Mike Segura is a little older than him, but I remember them being partnered up a lot. And Mike Segura was working Japan in the mid 90s.
Right. That's so funny. It looks like he's I don't know. I can't. I can never find this.
He's only like 44 or something.
Yeah.
He's like shockingly.
He just looks like his hairline is awful.
Old. It's just, because they all like none of them have health insurance, and they're all also tough motherfuckers. So it's like, who cares?
He debuted in 01, and he was born in 80, so he is 43. So he's only 38 here, but he looks older. But I mean, that's not a knock against him, because it makes him look awesome when he does these like crazy ass, tricked out, split in the ropes, double springboards things. The shit that like, is the new generation of high flying. The stuff that's been introduced in like the last 10 years, where now, we hit a point where we did everything you could possibly do with a springboard or a double jump or whatever. So they're like, well, what if we get really technical with it? And it's like, you're going to 1 foot off of this one, you're going to do a half spin, and it becomes like skate tricks almost.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, that's tougher because he did it as a fakie and not, like they're doing like fakie and nollie shit.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to learn the difference between a nollie and a nollie.
Yeah, exactly. Well said, I think. So it's cool, and he's older. He's of an older generation, and I think Freelance doesn't get nearly the credit that he deserves for being one of the weirdest, just inventive high flyers. It's incredible.
I forget what he had a gimmick run as in AAA for a little while. He might have been Laredo Boy, but I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, something like that. I can't recall either.
Yeah, because
Laredo Boy is listed here for sure.
Yeah, because they tried to reinvigorate the minis division. Kind of worked. A lot of talent, but it just wasn't necessarily the gimmicks there.
Yeah. They could repackage people as like the littlest guys on the roster into like junior and shit, but it only does so much. So they let's see. Eterno has the big. Eterno's the one with the big Liberty spikes.
Phenomenal mohawk.
The mohawk, yeah, that's so great. I guess it's a mohawk. He sends Freelance over with a super high back body drop. Crowd has the crowd. There's the big printed banner for Rocanol. I don't know what that is, but it's the main sponsor for multiple matches that we see here. It's part of the best things about Lucha is just the big awful promotion for things that's everywhere.
I'm going to say that Rocanol is it's like fucking icy hot.
Yeah, Ben Gay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I've been using one of those.
Salicyclate, 16% active ingredient.
There you go.
Damn, that's probably some pretty stiff stuff.
Yeah, BioFreeze is what I was using on my back for a while there. John, you ever use BioFreeze on your? You got any back pain, John?
I do some rigorous stretching every morning.
Oh, like AR Fox.
I gotta respect it as someone who was stupid enough to have lost her tin of fucking Tiger Bomb somewhere in my goddamn apartment, and stiff as fuck all the time.
Check the couch cushions. Excuse me. Oh God,
I gotta check my. It's somewhere in the goddamn couch cushions, probably. Yeah.
Somebody. Excuse me. Sorry, I have marijuana. Rocanol. Freelance. Flips and flops out of the next back body drop attempt, and then does this crazy 1.5 rotation spinning head scissor into arm drag, and then he does this he does a dive from the top to the floor into a Rana.
Yeah,
and Eterno, Eterno bases for it beautifully and safely, and it's just incredible the amount of cooperation it takes to hit shit like that. But man, again, Freelance looks old doing that. It adds to it quite a bit. And then the Indy Strong to Blaze are in the ring. They do a double drop toe hold on Astrolux, and then they too sweet each other, which is fucking 2018, and then they do some of their maybe too intricate double team work. Some of it's kind of bad on Astrolux. Astrolux doesn't have any idea how to bump for some of these moves. It seems like they didn't go over it beforehand or whatever.
Right.
But then the momentum shifts again, and Astrolux ends up getting Belial in sort of a pendulum, and then Freelance double stomps the back of his fucking head into a super curb stomp. It's just insane. A close-up of that would have maybe been scary, graphic, because it looked really bad from the angle that we had. It's just non-stop momentum shifts. Anybody stand out to anyone?
It really was the Freelance show. He was all over this match, including just laying around the ring towards the end and just kind of watching guys, but he was still in the ring at every single moment until he was diving out of it, but then he'd hurry up and get right back in, it seemed like.
Yeah,
I thought Ricky Marvin also looked really great. This is a great show for the vets.
Yeah, they have to be in position for everything. I feel like they're orchestrating everything here. Ricky and Freelance. I guess Freelance doesn't figure directly into the finish, but he's right there at the end. And then
he's just watching.
They both have to kick him in the face, and then the big satellite head scissor into the DDT from Astrolux, where he gets launched way up in the air. I could do that with my son. You could. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. Astrolux weighs about as much as my son. My son is 5. But it's just such a good spot. If you get Gringo Loco does that with any number. Have you seen Gringo versus Commander from ROH from a month and a half ago or something? It's an awesome match. And it's just Gringo. He just fucking makes the match. It's incredible. Yeah. He's just throwing the guy in the air, catching him, and fucking doing a perfect DDT bump, shit like that. And there's a really good one of those here that I believe is from Astrolux onto Ricky Marvin, maybe. I don't know. When there's this many guys, my notes are only so good. Freelance super kicks Ricky Marvin, and Ricky Marvin uses the spirit of the arc, everything he learned from Masawa, to shrug it off and hits a big spinning lariat. That's an awesome spot. And then Astrolux hits this absurd dive where he does. This is another one of those up the game. You spring off the inside middle rope, and clear the top.
Yeah.
Like what is that? Who did that first? Like,
I mean, Mesco Dorado, Grand Metalik, whatever.
Right.
You know, what's he go by now?
I think he's Grand Metalik again.
Okay. That's who I associate it with.
I guess that makes
don't know
sense.
if he was the first doing it, but he did that for years. You know, but obviously he had the, you know, he was in CMLL, had the biggest spotlight and all that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You wonder if like maybe they're like a Freelance or another guy in a place like IWRG was doing that maybe first. It's just one of those things that it changed. You know, that was a new wrinkle.
Yeah.
This is a new thing you can do in a dive, and then it became like what I forget who does so many of these dives now, and they're all on fucking AEW doing them twice a week, so it's kind of
Vikingo does it a lot. Yeah,
I think Vikingo does the one where he runs, jumps up 180 back facing outside of the ring, and he's 2 feet on the middle rope, and he backflips over the top from the inside middle. Into a moonsault, which is another. It's like this is what I'm talking about. This is like the nollie shit, you know. Like we've just like we got to the point where we reached the limits. You can't do a triple front flip. It's not going to work.
Yeah,
nobody can do that. So we got to figure out what is the application from which we reach the double front flip. Like, you know, Vikingo also does like a fucking he does a Phoenix splash like that, where it's from outside in, standing on the middle, and like it's just absurd. Like I like it. I think Vikingo is cool. That match where he gets busted open in May.
That match is pretty good. I like that match.
Yeah, it's cool. It's not like it's not a great match, but it's a great promise of what he is capable of. So hopefully we'll see something like that. So yeah,
like guys like, I mean, I have my faults with like fucking Pac, but he's been doing crazy shit like this for forever. Like,
yeah,
and that's where you get
interesting
to the Osprey world. But I think that's a guy who like deserves his credit for being able to do shit that like nobody else could do and pull it off.
I don't think about him often. I always kind of, I mean, he comes and goes, I guess, is the thing.
It's part of it. He's
so skippable when he is there.
Yeah, he's such a weird he's a guy who's never promised on his potential because he just doesn't want to like live in the U.S. Fine, man, that's fine. But he is working in a United States-based company. He's working in a company where the offices are based out of Jacksonville, fucking Florida, like or like Kissimmee, like Park.
Is it Kissimmee?
Yeah, that like WWE or whatever. Like, it's like I don't know, man. Unless World of Sport comes back again.
Yeah,
like,
I mean that ship has sailed. I mean, if any chance of a UK scene being a place where he could, make a home. It's funny. It's funny to think about. He would. Go ahead.
He and Jimmy Havoc can't rebuild the UK Indies.
Bravo was cleared of the charges.
Yeah, you keep telling us this.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
I don't know what these charges were. They're probably bad.
Probably bad. Probably better that we don't know anything about it. Yeah. Well, all right, there is one more big thing here. Is this Freelance gets back body dropped over the top into a flipping dive, and it's just a ridiculous arch. It's like one of the highest flipping like dives I've ever seen. He gets up so fucking high.
Yeah, he seems to be like I think it was Eterno that dumped him outside, and like he's like double his height.
Tallest the guy in the match. Yeah, tallest guy in the match too. So
yeah,
it's fucking awesome. And then Impulso, Freelance, and Ricky all try to roll each other up, but no one can close the deal. And then they both kick Freelance in the face, and he lays there and watches the finish. Ricky hits a really good super kick on Impulso and hits him with a, I don't know, fucking Hiromu move. I don't know what the fuck these moves are, where it's like it's a pump handle into a driver thing.
Yeah, Pentagon was doing that. It was like his.
It's a Pentagon driver.
They call it made in Japan when he does it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the same wrist clutch or whatever, and I don't care to find out.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where the Olympic roll, like the rolling Olympic hell or whatever, you know. And I mean, at least Taman Honda was cool, but like I don't care that much about Shingo to figure out which is the one where it's just
the top wrist is here and you grab it with the left hand, and that's what makes the difference.
Or the one where he goes over his head to drop them, and that's the super one, or the regular one, or then there's the avalanche variation.
Yeah,
I mean,
Chris Charlton could let us know though, I'm sure.
You know what? You know, say what you will about the Samoan driver being overused, because it is. It's pretty straight fucking forward.
The Samoan. Well, now you say that.
It's the Hiromu where you just do the Death Valley.
It's just all right. Fireman into it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like it's swing. Boom. Okay.
I believe that might be called Michinoku Driver 1. Honestly.
I forget.
Forget too.
Like
it doesn't
some
matter.
Weird double underhook John.
Yeah. Let's see here. So that's the match that we chose, so that wouldn't all just be fat guys bleeding on each other. Fat and old guys.
This match, I think, I mean, you can with AEW now, especially, or with WWE, with they brought in 205 Live stuff or whatever. So I mean, you get these spottier stuff on American TV now.
They've got many luchadors on WWE too. Yeah, it's crazy.
But they just don't. I mean, this match really has. The transitions, it's just this seamless flow between guys doing these spots. No one's looking around confused. Nobody's like sort of stumbling through something or waiting for someone to get back in the ring or whatever.
Nobody's trying to get in place for the fucking camera.
Yeah, exactly. It's just really, really, really smooth from spot to spot, and that's what really pulls it together. And sort of differentiates it between some of the sloppier stuff you see in the U.S. That's sort of the same style. They just don't have the technique down.
Yeah, well, I mean, and even the guys that are the guys that can really fucking nail it. Like if you get like 6 really good luchadors in there, and they're working fucking Indianapolis, or they're in Erie, Pennsylvania, or whatever. Like that crowd doesn't know the rhythms of lucha, so either they're not going to respond like they should, or the wrestlers themselves are going to try to tune their style to be a little more American, and that's going to dilute them too. So there's no way a match like this works without it being here, without people throwing fucking beers and tooting fucking air horns and chanting "Esta es puto" at one of the guys at all times. Yeah. Like.
Plus, for as much as wrestling promotions like winking at Lucha and being like, yeah, let's have a couple of guys, none of them want to commit that hard. There's always a quota for...
Well, that's why that fucking Mystico versus Rocky Romero match felt so cool. That felt like a fucking CMLL match. I don't know if either of you watched that match, but that felt like a proper CMLL match. It wasn't great. It felt like fourth on a card of 6 on a Friday, sure. But it was like, this isn't like a blow off match, but it was a 3 falls, like real fucking lucha title style match, and it was cool. It was nice. It felt very different from your Lucha Bros versus like it just did. And it was nice.
TJP versus Lucha Bros or whatever.
Yeah, no. I'm look, Dante Martin and whatever, like those
Action Andretti.
Yeah, like that's a cool match. I'll watch that. I haven't yet, but I will. I'll get around to it maybe. Is ROH tonight?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, it's tonight.
They're saying Billy Starks and I keep forgetting her name, Athena, are gonna go an hour. That's what Rovert keeps saying. He says they've hinted that they're gonna go an hour, and everybody's like, I don't think so. And Rovert's like, no, I'm reading between the lines. But I guess they are going to be the main event.
The wheels are revving.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. Computers Putin. I know what's happening.
Yeah. Oh, God bless him. All right. Next up we have from September 14th, 2019. This is the order we're going to do this in. Is that right, Siobhan?
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is a good, and then we'll do the break in the middle. From September 14th, 2019, Mexa Wrestling. It is the team of Fly Star, Toxin Boy, and Wotan versus El Hijo del Fishman, Romano Garcia, a.k.a. Mr. Condor, and Rocky Santana. Now, all right, so some of these guys are like pseudo legends of the show at this point, I guess. Wotan is the man, obviously, and will feature heavily in this year's year-end show. I'm assuming.
He's doing pretty fucking well for me, at least on one match.
Yeah, at least on one match. Okay. So Romano Garcia is, of course, Mr. Condor, who had the crazy ass match with Black Terry in 2021. And the rest of these guys are all bad motherfuckers. Toxin and Flystar, we're going to talk about their match and their feud at the end of the episode. But here they are teaming together with Wotan.
They were Los Criminal Boys, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Los Criminal Boys?
Yeah.
There's some great names. There was Kamikaze and Scalibur as Los 420 brothers. That was probably the best one. That was the most that felt like a Flint, Michigan rap.
Yeah.
I'm not finding. I mean, my results when I looked up Criminal Boys Lucha Libre, Los Criminal Boys. I mean, it didn't bring up exactly what you'd want, I guess.
No, it's
a little bit different.
Let's see here. No, we'll just have to leave that. Somebody can confirm it for us some other time. This is the Hijo de Fishman. Who is that the son of Fishman? Is that
presumably?
As far as I know, that is legit.
That's legit. It's okay. I don't really know anything about Fishman though. What's the big Fishman match that I would know?
Fishman was big in UWA in the 80s. He had a run in the early AAA back in like 93, 94 AAA.
Okay. I could have seen him against Jake the Snake Roberts then, perhaps.
In the 80s, it's like him versus like Connect,
That's UWA. That's the stuff we don't have any of that on. Or do we have? We have
very little.
Very little.
Yeah, very little.
It's the EMLL that we have a bunch of.
And a bunch of is still.
Yeah,
but at least we've
got some big important matches.
Like UWA, we're missing Los Villanos versus Los Brazos and shit like that.
Yeah,
it's like
the biggest matches of all time, literally.
Some of the shit where you're just like,
how did nobody film this?
Earth do we not fucking did this not get preserved?
Did nobody think this was going to be important? You sold 25,000 tickets, like. Okay.
It's just they were, I mean, it might as well have been, the tape of like the second biggest wedding in the history of soap operas or something. Whatever Luke and Laura is.
Yeah, Luke and Laura is second wedding. I think that's what it would have been. It would have been the time to get remarried.
That one's pretty good. It gets taped over,
It was
gotta save some space.
It was God, I used to, what's his name? God, I don't.
Sonny Corinthos?
Sonny Corinthos, and was Brenda? Is that his wife?
Brenda, yeah.
Oh, how can I think of Brenda but not Sonny Corinthos? Oh,
I'm never not thinking of Sonny Corinthos.
He's the greatest representation of bipolar disorder ever on American television. We all know that though. Yep. This is from the Fishman Wotan feud. Which was the hottest fucking thing in 2019, honestly. This was on my, we talked about this match on the Grossies. I don't think I had a lot to say because I hadn't seen it, I hadn't rewatched it, but it still stuck with me. And it's just an incredible fucking match. I think obviously this is not the showcase match that we're necessarily, that we have here, but I think this match might be my favorite of any of these and my favorite match that's ever happened in this building.
I would agree that I think it's the best of the four, but it's less of a pure showcase. So it just, main event time felt like main event time.
But for sure.
But yeah, like Wotan has done a lot of good stuff in this building. He's had the Defunto feud, some of the Defunto feud in Chalanga Mask here, which I think is as good as the Fishman stuff.
Yeah, that's 2021, right?
Yeah, 2021, 2019.
That's where they're breaking the wine bottles over each other's heads, right? Isn't that the one? That's so good.
Yeah, and the match that got Chalanga Mask kicked out of Calico.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah. That's that's as that is as about as hot as Fishman versus Wotan, but Defunto has never been arrested in the middle of a match, so you got to give the edge to Fishman. That mask match would have to take priority, unfortunately.
I like Defunto.
That's fine.
I think Defunto's cool.
Yeah, I like all three of these guys are fantastic.
He's not built like Fishman. Fishman is like Hijo de Fishman is built like a fucking brick shit house. Like he's a
Fishman's a big dude. I saw him at that Lucha convention thing that I talked about earlier. When I was down there, and he's a big dude, like 6 feet tall, like probably 230, 40, 50 pounds. I don't know.
He's like Diamante Azul. He's got that fucking He's like he throws a fucking chair like a big guy too.
Like Defunto has the Viano build because he is half brother of the Vianos.
Right.
Like he looks exactly like he and Toxin.
He's adorable.
Look a lot alike.
Yeah, Toxin's a little pudgy.
Toxin would be a great Viano Negro or something.
He might be. We don't even know. We might know by now. I don't know. Does Toxin still have his mask?
Yeah.
He does. Okay.
Fishman is like the Fishman is just like he is built like a brawny motherfucker. He's got a lumberjack.
He's like a wrestler from the 80s. Like,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
cool. He's fucking awesome.
They don't make wrestlers like that anymore,
And he's also like I think he's a real fucking tornado in this match, despite being like one of the bigger guys. He's constantly starting
constant
shit.
movement.
Yeah.
We start immediately. I think 5 seconds into the clip, Fishman smashes a part of a door over Wotan's head, and it's like a maybe not a door, maybe it's a big piece of sheetrock because it's like
There's
a bunch of
because it just shatters.
It's so crazy. It looks like the fucking cat's been scratched on it for a week and a half. It's like crazy in there. And that's how we start. He immediately starts tearing. I think he just rips immediately and bites the head. Rips the mask, bites the head of Wotan. And we're like 10 seconds into the clip. It takes me a second to remember which one is Romano and which one's Rocky Santana. Every time I see the two of them wrestle because they wear the same clothes, basically, right? Do they have a team name?
Yeah, the Diabolicos.
That's the Diabolicos.
They were a AAA Rudo team in the 90s, a sort of undercard.
Who did they have a third?
Gallego.
Yeah, El Gallego.
Gallego, cool. Gallego. I saw Gallego in a match this year where he bled a shitload in Nakopan.
Gallego pop up. We see the three of them pop up as a trio every so often, but this is just like you have to presume that this was like a combination of Los Criminal Boys versus Los Diabolicos and Wotan Fishman, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, or something. It is so. Rocky Santana I associate him a lot with AULL, which is the like house promotion in Arena Lopez Mateos. I think he runs the school or something maybe. But he was like he's older, but he was the sort of like super babyface guy of that group. But then every once in a while his old friends call him and he, puts the old gear on and is just a nasty old guy again.
I would never guess this guy had like a career as like a Technico. He's so nasty.
But he is over like a motherfucker. He does get chance. It's great.
Yeah, no, so the crowd is so incredible in this match. This is the full on, just, everybody's, at any second you can look to the edge of the frame and a fan is handing one of the wrestlers a beer to throw at another wrestler. It's just constant. And the air horns, there's just fucking, it's awesome. All right, so Romano Garcia, Mr. Condor, right? Who's the oldest guy in this match? I guess is what I want to know. I'm going to try to figure it out. Because they both look so old. It's like it's the classic, like, just wrinkly face, bloody, scratched up forehead, a billion tattoos, ill-fitting gear that like they've probably had since 2005 or whatever. Yeah. It looks, it's so hard to find on the Lucha Wiki. It's hard to find birth dates. I find this very difficult. This is a bummer, but okay, he was born in 1958, so he's 60 years old in this match. Yeah, Mr. Condor is, which is awesome. Which is tracks. I mean, if you look at him, that's how old he looks. I think, not to be rude. I don't think I've been rude so far. I think that's how old he looks. Rocky Santana, I'm going to have his age here in just a second. But they,
Rocky would have been 63.
Nice.
Oh, goodness.
Wow.
That's ridiculous. That's the same age as my parents. That's ridiculous.
Isn't that the funniest thing to think about? Like,
Gallego is the youngest one, who I think he is Rocky Santana's like brother-in-law, and he's like at only 55. Like, come on,
nice.
He's got a full like prime left to do some shady bullshit.
So we see all right, so this is one camera also. I want to say this is similar to the last match. The last match was one camera, probably somebody's cell phone. And it was shot from a balcony, right? One of the balconies, and they're kind of just like they're following the action by, turning their body side to side, but presumably they're a fan in a seat. Whereas this is shot also with one camera, but by a maniac who is standing right there in the middle of it. This is like the classic thing. I love to think about this. We talked about this a lot in the Southern Tag episode, Sean, where it's just like, okay, we got one guy's cameraman, and he's gonna stand there and try not to get knocked over or fucking, a Death Valley driver done into him. God bless him.
We're gonna give him like a 5-inch radius to not die.
Yeah.
But we're gonna, he is a participant. He's here to throw down himself.
Yeah. Well, it's great because also when they're in the ring, it's, they're pointing up in the ring, but when they're brawling around him, he pans over, and it's suddenly the perspective has changed because it's, the angle, the horizon, like from the Fablemans. So it's cool. It's just a great aesthetic. It's a wonderful way to watch a match of this style. This match would not be as good if it was 4 cameras with commentary and replays. It simply would not be as good. So the camera sort of pans over from Fishman beating the shit out of Wotan. We're still only 30 seconds into this match. Pans over and finds Rocky Santana ripping at Flystar's hair, biting his already bloody head. Wotan comes over to even the odds. But Fishman throws a bucket at his head, and then I think he picked the bucket up and threw it at him again. And then Fishman has these excellent heavy punches, and then these like great headbutts that could be worked but might not be. It's impossible to say. Hurls a full beer at Wotan's head. Wotan pulls his straps down, and they chop each other on the floor. And it's these straight palm strikes to the chest.
Yeah.
They're not. Oh, yeah. It's not. There's no follow through. It's a hard straight palm shove punch to the chest, and they're going so fast that they're not stopping to make a face after each one. They're not stopping so that they can like play to anyone. They're speeding through the stiffest fucking chop exchange you've ever seen before, and then they finish off with a few headbutts. Yeah. And then Fishman just kind of tackles Wotan into the crowd, and then the camera pans over. It's just like Nashville. Yeah. It was just okay. Camera loses the main feud and goes over to Rocky, who reappears fighting with Flystar and Toxin. Fishman fades in and out, grabs Flystar. Rocky's shoot headbutting Toxin repeatedly until he has to lay down in the crowd. And then we finally come around and we find Romano Garcia, who I don't think we've really seen much of, and he's just standing on the ground, and he's being bathed in like a colorful strobe light, and he's just mugging, and the camera pans around him like a character being introduced in a fucking Smash Bros or something. It's the greatest. It's just the greatest like opening minute and a half. And yeah, I don't know. Then the ring's covered in fucking garbage.
Yeah. No, it's what I love about it is it's so organic feeling. Like guys just stumble around. You get shoot headbutt by Fishman or whatever, and you stumble off, and then bump into Flystar or whatever around the corner and start fighting with him. Right? It doesn't feel like planned little brawling spots. It's like just wander around and punch somebody if they're in front of you.
It's the least choreography possible.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like it does feel like there's no plan. They went out there with no plan. Let's just go out there and fucking fight. All right, cool. The drywall powder in the ring does make it look so funny.
That's so nasty.
When they're just bleeding and it's mixing all in. Let's see here. Rocky has in the ring. Rocky gets an armbar on Toxin. They're lying in the trash. And Rocky looks old. Romano comes in and comes in and starts grabbing Toxin's mask and pulls it up into his mouth, exposing his chin, pulls the bottom so the fabric is like tearing into the corners of Toxin's mouth, and he yanks back. That's just like vicious. It's just like just awful, mean shit. That who would even think to do that? Like, come on. And Flystar has the white pants. He's lost his mask at this point. He lost his mask in, I think, November to Toxin.
Yeah, he looks like a mini Andrade.
He does. He's got the sort of looks. He's a little more tatted up. He looks a little dirtier.
A little sleazier.
Yeah.
As you'd want. He's working this building. Not
yeah. Well, I noticed he's got more tattoos here significantly. His like sleeve is a lot more defined compared to the match from 18 months earlier. Like he's slowly funding his tattoos with these matches.
I can't imagine he got a ton of money for that mask, but he got something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's been slowly funding. Yeah, the sleeve. Yeah.
There was a promoter who said that people. Very quick digression. Some guy.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Prestige or one of those other Northwest Indies who said, people, you got to register yourself as an LLC. So we're having LLC Twitter on wrestling Twitter. So that's
I remember this.
And it says tattoos. You can write those off, and it's like, no, you can't. don't do that. No.
Oh man, there's so many smart people in there.
Hobby income, okay?
See, you would know a lot about this stuff. You people should, if you're an indie wrestler and you're looking to like figure out your taxes, we got a person here. You can DM the fucking @touchingblood, and she'll hook you up. I mean, you have to pay her, but
yeah,
she knows her shit. So small digression.
Yeah, but just I'm just thinking about that. It's like, man, I don't know how the Mexican income tax system works, but I hope he is not thinking that is a direct that he is going to be able to pay that investment off with relief from filing Schedule C.
Okay. Thank you, Siobhan.
You're welcome.
Just got to brush up. So it is almost time, I guess, for Flystar comeback, but not quite. It's very funny, these comeback attempts, where it's like the heels are just standing tall. I say heels. The old men and Fishman are standing tall. And like Wotan takes like a comical fucking chair throw to the head. Toxin gets a chair shot from a really heavy looking chair. And then Condor accidentally wipes out Rocky. Flystar goes in on Fishman. There's chair throws. Wotan kills Rocky with a chair shot. Rocky immediately rolls under the ring to Blade. It's always funny when they do that. And then Flystar gets Fishman up on the top, facing the crowd, so he can rip his mask and show his bloody face to the crowd, which is the best. I always love that when they put him on the top and they're facing outward, and it's like not even like in the Toxin Flystar singles match they do the Tree of Woe right after it both times, but it's just a great spot. Like put them up high so everybody can see their face and rip it up. It's a specifically Lucha thing that can only really work here. Let's see here, and then Toxin grabs someone's whole backpack and throws it at Rocky Santana's head. That's on one side of the arena, and then like they kind of pan over, and Wotan's like blasting Romano with a chair on the other side, and then Flystar is sort of wandering around chopping people, and it's just totally fucking chaos. It's so beautifully captured. You feel like you've missed nothing. You have. There's no way you've seen every bit of action. There are things happening beyond the margins of the frame. But that I am not seeing them feels almost like a deliberate choice. Like it's to amplify what actually is in the frame. You see what you see, and then not to do. It's not that it's like a Dutch masters painting. It's just kind of what it is. Yeah.
It comes to you.
Yeah. They do. They sure do.
It's kaleidoscopic.
Yes. Thank you. Fishman comes in hot, finally throws some strikes, him and Toxin back and forth, And but he's cut off by a chair throw from someone. I think Flystar throws a chair at him. There's a lot of just chairs being thrown, and that's sort of the ultimate cutoff. When you've planned nothing, okay, well, all right, you threw a chair at me. All right, you go on offense for a sec. All right, all right, we'll see. We're gonna do that now.
You saw boo a dude, and then it's all right. Move on. Let's move on.
Yeah. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. You guys do some stuff. It's wrestling. That's how it works. Rocky tries to come in against Toxin and Flystar and gets handled easily. Wotan, this is where Wotan starts doing his extremely rude rear back and double overhand chop that he does, which is like a Wahoo level rude strike to do to Hey, listen, Wotan does hate Fishman more than I've ever hated anyone, but it's so mean. It's so rude that he does it. He does it to Mr. Condor too, I think. Mr. Condor comes in and lowers the straps like he's Lawler. He's gonna chop it out with Wotan, but then Flystar and Toxin just kind of grab his arms, and Wotan gives him the double chop, and it's super rude. It sounds like a fucking car crash when he does it. Like it sounds literally like two cars colliding is what it sounds like when he does the double chop. Like the crowd reacts like their ears hurt from like it's that kind of groan. It's not an oh, it's an oh. Really, they don't like it. They think it's rude. But he's one tough fucking bastard, though. Romano Garcia is Mr. Condor. He like gets right back up and stands up to Wotan, and then they fucking they do this high speed clothesline corner to corner sequence. Which
it looks fantastic.
Pretty late in the match, but they're like, they're doing a fucking, this is like Kenny Omega and Konosuke Takeshita would do some shit like
this. They had one spot.
They did plan this. This is the one they've been doing on every match they've had for and then Rocky comes in and starts doing those fucking palm strikes to the chest that he does. They're kind of different from the Fishman ones from earlier, but they're mean. And then
it's like sumo move.
Yeah, it's exactly a straight palm. And then he does he bounces off the ropes and does 2 running shoot headbutts, like tope style, torpedo style, like arms at the sides. Definitely just like there's no way to work that, There's I see the head hitting the head. There's no way to work that. Just incredible. What the fuck, Rocky? I don't know. So I lost where I was in the notes, and I've got a lot more notes here, but they do spots too. Like there's a Fishman, a fisherman suplex. Excuse me, not Fishman, Fisherman. I got it mixed up. Funny how that would work. Toxin gives Rocky an arm drag and some other like lucha stuff and a super kick, right? And he's like he's working, and then he gives him like this variation fisherman suplex into the buckles, like a corner. Like, dude, that dude's 60 years old, 63 or something. Like, don't be hitting like specialty suplexes into the buckle on a guy that old. That's out of line. Like, he didn't call that spot. He doesn't know that people do that. It's like, oh, no, turn around. Suplex me into the middle of the ring, you idiot. What are we doing? Oh, how far we've come. It's another one of those things, though, right? With the deviations from you can't just suplex a motherfucker anymore. He has to be 60, and you have to do it into the corner. Fuck me. Anyways, I don't know, Flystar... He gets up and trades some more chops with Flystar like a minute later, so I guess he was okay.
Yeah, he walked it off.
No, God. Rub some dirt on it. There's plenty. Yeah, it's all around.
In this match, like in IWRG and Arena and Al Capone, there's a really standard type of match where guys start out brawling all over, and then they get in the ring and have like a regular match after that. And this one, like, they sort of do that, but it's really seamless. They all sort of just wind up on the aprons with 2 guys in the ring. But then it falls apart like again a minute later. They do these 1-versus-1 segments in the ring, but then they all get sort of, I don't know, bored of it or something.
Yeah, they're quick. They're pretty short and inconsequential. Fishman hits a belly-to-belly overhead into the corner and like a Canadian destroyer on Flystar. Like they're doing some lucha stuff, and then there's this like really long. They do this, so they're setting up this Tower of Doom, which is ultimately very pointless and not very exciting. But they all kind of walk over and have a conversation for a second beforehand.
yeah. It was like the Condor and Santana like came over and just started talking trash instead of setting up the Tower of Doom spot.
Again, these guys are 60. They're like, you want to do what? Just give him a superplex. I'm gonna go over there. Why do I need to be here? What is going on? Like, what the fuck? It's first of all, same bump either way. Like, I can see Romano's over there saying, no, if I powerbomb you, you're still taking this. It doesn't matter. And they're like, no, we have to do it. It's like, why do we have to do it? And then they did it. That was what the conversation was. Yeah. So a very pointless Tower of Doom spot. One of the worst. The worst spot it's never good. Even
it's never good. It's all over. Like in this time, and I think it's kind of died down a bit. But it was like every Mexican indie match had a Tower of Doom spot.
Yeah, AAA was a lot of it too. All the 6 major AAA. Although I don't know. There's variations of it. No, there aren't. No, there aren't. No, I can't think of one that I actually like. You know what I like? I like it when the guy's got somebody on his shoulders for like a doomsday electric chair position, and he walks him over and he gives someone a superplex. See, that's fun. That's fun. I like that. The chicken fight superplex. That's it. All right, where the fuck was I? I don't know. All right, they pull it together. Flystar hits the slingshot senton like over the top to the floor. The lucha spot where a guy's laying, facing the ring, and waits for the guy to fucking give him a horrific senton. And they land parallel, right? Parallel.
Yeah.
It's like it's such a hard thing to explain. Virus does it, and it's an old lucha spot. Hijo dos Santos does it.
It's not the Pantera dive, but it is the Virus dive. There's someone else I can think of who does it. But yeah, it's always gross.
It's just a sick bastard dive. It's like a thing that you have to be epic to do that. It's great. So he does that, and then Fishman and Wotan are fighting over there by them when that happens. And Fishman gets Wotan up in a fireman's carry on the floor, and he spins him around like he's Gorilla Monsoon. And then he does a running, like almost flipping Death Valley Driver, like Lobo CZW style, into the hardwood stadium seating of this arena, which is built well, I will say. These seats are like the seats at Wrigley Field. They're like, they're like bolted into the ground, and they go flying into the second row, snapping the back off of one of these chairs, clean the hell off. And they eat total shit in the rest of the landing too. There's nothing but rigid, unmovable shit to hurt your body on under there. It's one of the most absurd spots I've ever seen.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it became like a Fishman like signature spot. Like he just does this.
I know. It's very mean. I don't know. It's just it's one of those things that you can't really explain. I imagine when I asked Sergeant Slaughter, how did you take that corner bump safely, and he was like, oh, I just kind of did it. He didn't have an answer. Fuck, I don't know. Just kind of did it. Just gonna keep doing it, and hopefully it'll keep going well. Has so far.
I mentioned to you that Fishman, he's like hooked up with Santo now, and that seems to be where most of what he works is those Santo shows.
So untaped shows in like Colorado and like the Rio Grande Valley and shit.
Yeah, but is Santo taking that bump? There's no way.
Oh no! Yeah, no way. So they're working with each other in like singles and or in trios. Probably not singles, right?
It's usually tag matches. I think.
Yeah. So it's whoever the local guy is. Yeah. That's you have ASF as the guy who takes that bump. You bring him in just for that. All right. Yeah. Romano and Toxin do Toxin hits with a quebradora and another fancy backbreaker that I don't know the name of. And then Mr. Condor hits him in the balls behind the referee's back and scores the pin. It was that simple all along. He just wasn't
Nuts.
done. They wasn't done fighting yet. They weren't done fighting yet. They could have stopped at any time. He could have done that at any time. And he was like, well, all right, I think I'm good now. He took 2 backbreakers, and I'm like, I think I'm good. And then Rocky comes in all bloody also, and his hair looking like fucking Daniel Stern in Home Alone 2, and he does the funniest like celebratory arms up pose. He looks like so old that he can't raise his arms up quite. Like, he looks so frail here, and it's like, how did you just wrestle that match? Yeah. You look like this now. 5 minutes ago, I thought you were gonna kill somebody. Like, and then
when the gas is in the tank, the gas is in the tank.
Man, yeah. That light might be on, but it's still running until it's not. And you have to pull over, and the federales show up because you don't have a cell phone because it's 1992. Man, so easy now to just get help on the side of the road if you run out of gas. You ever think about that? I think about it a lot, and that's why I push it. I'm currently on full empty. Man, the Estrellas del Ring logo comes in, and then we do get the full commercial for the Super Astro Torta Shop, Plaza San Juan, Número 7. So,
yeah, you can, if you eat that sandwich in 20 minutes, it's free or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard. I think they might. Do they say that in the commercial, or is that from another? Yeah, it's so funny. I've never had a competitive sandwich. Or whatever you would call it. But I'd be willing to try.
Man versus food moment.
Yeah. No, Joey's World Tour.
Joey.
Yeah.
With John fishing. With John fishing. John out on the water fishing.
Verified to post videos longer than 15 minutes because what I found was all of those podcasts since I did it had tried to upload but had been rejected because I hadn't verified the account. So now we are on YouTube. Isn't that cool?
Hell yeah. I'm fucking with that, obviously.
There's nine views on there. Somebody listened to it on there, and I didn't even know it. I didn't even know it was on the motherfucker, and then somebody's listened to it on there. Or maybe they at least clicked it, which is nice.
I'll take a click.
Which makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I don't like, though? Click this podcast. No thanks. Welcome back to Wrestling is Gross. Have you listened to Click This?
A little bit. It's depressing.
Is that Kevin Nash?
Yeah, it's not as good as you would think it would be. I don't know.
Exactly. It's yeah. This earlier this summer, I was listening to a lot of shoot interviews and stuff, and I listened to a Kevin Nash one, and it was really entertaining. The dude's pretty smart and actually seems to understand wrestling more than most
Absolutely.
guys that do it. Maybe he wasn't taking head bumps or something a lot.
Yeah, he kept his health for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I listened to an episode or 2 of his podcast, and yeah, I mean, get paid, I guess, but
yeah,
it's not for me.
No, it's not much. Yeah, he's a good shoot interview though, for sure. I recently listened to John Moxley's audiobook that he read.
I listened to it too. Yeah,
it's very nice. I highly recommend that. I think it's really good.
I think it's really good. Yeah,
there's some really beautiful stuff in there. It really caught me off guard.
The Danny Havoc stuff really got me.
Yeah, there was so much. I don't know. I was blown away. I did not expect. I knew I'd like it, but I had no idea it was gonna make me feel how much it made me feel. So
he's the ace.
Yeah, he's great. John Moxley's the fucking man. We'll talk about him soon. All right. Let's see here. Jumping right along. Now, this next match, I did not paste as plain text in my document. So it's got the 2 explosion emojis, and it's all like it's a 24-point font instead of a 12, bolded. This is, I don't have the date. It's February. Anyone?
Oh shit.
That's all right. It's February of 2020.
February 15th.
February 15th, 2020. From the promotion Lucha Strong.
Yeah.
It is Ciclope. Ciclope from what is it? From Philly, Japan. Is that right?
That's Kasai, but he might be doing it too.
It's Nick Gage says it in that promo though.
Oh yeah. Ciclope. Miedo Extremo.
Yeah, Miedo Extremo. We've got Akuma and Demus.
Akuma and Demus, who are brothers.
Yeah. I did not know that. Okay. Akuma, I was able to point out because he had a baseball jersey on and it said Akuma on the back. So that was helpful for me.
Very helpful.
Where it's 8 fat guys bleeding. It's very helpful for me.
It's a good plan, yeah.
Versus Contra, Corsario Negro Jr., Drako, Fresero, and Demonio Infernal. Is it Fresero Jr.?
It is Fresero Jr.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen Senior.
Right.
But
yeah.
presumably he exists.
Yeah.
I've never seen Zack Sabre Senior. You know.
Yeah.
Well, he was like a Boilermaker. That's what you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you actually, you have seen him, but you didn't know. So, you've seen him on the bus, riding around. You wonder who's that guy? That's Zack Sabre Senior. Turns out. Who knew? Fresero Jr. teamed with Mr. Iguana. Is that correct?
Yes.
And had some awesome matches.
Time,
yeah. Okay, that's where I know him. He's the one in the green pants here.
He's correct, green pants.
Yeah.
He's big. Like Fresero Jr. is a big dude.
Yeah.
He is only the third fattest guy on his team, but he's not a small man.
He looks like a football player. He looks like an American football player.
Yeah.
He's got the build. So someone, I'm not sure who it was, but someone comes out with a neon jacket when the lights are out. They enter with a neon jacket, like a la DJZ or Chris Jericho. DJZ, of course, one of the LWO now. I recently found out after watching him wrestle at a house show, I found out that was DJZ. I couldn't believe it. Had no idea. So the Drako Fresero crew, I don't know, I couldn't tell any of these people really apart. But they're cool. I would love to know who's who.
If I want to say in order of fatness, you go Corsario.
That's
Drako,
how I was hoping you would do it.
Fresero, Demonio.
Okay,
Demonio was not that. Demonio is just like a normal guy.
He's the normal guy. Okay.
He just wears a shirt because they're all wearing the same shirt.
Yeah, the shirts are important. That was helpful for me to know who was who. I mean, I could pick out Demus, but every now and then I'd see Demus and I'd be like, "Oh wait, that's Demus. I forgot he was in this match." Like, not that he didn't do great. He's awesome in it. But and also I want to say this is the one I watched late last night. I was very tired. So this is one of those ones. But yeah, so we start out and there's Demus and he's slapping someone really hard. Who's the guy on the Rudo team with the knee pads over his jean shorts? Is that?
I believe that's Demonio.
That's Demonio. Okay.
Is that that's the skinnier guy?
Hang on, I'm gonna figure it out. We're gonna find out. I'm gonna put the match on. Let's put this on, and I'm gonna put on Mrs. Lana Lively afterwards.
Drako is the one with face paint.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
The fat one with face paint.
Okay. So it's Corsario Negro Jr. is the one with the knee pads over his jeans. Then his jean shorts. Then.
Yeah.
Which is what makes him interesting. Here's where I figured it out. Yeah, I figured it out in the next paragraph of my notes.
Yeah. These are like we got some Dwayne Sedero regulars. I like Corsario. He had an awesome hair versus hair feud with fucking Ultimo Guerrero of all people that I thought was really great. That was based around San Juan Pantaton. I think it was from Mexa Wrestling.
Like 2016 or something?
2018.
I feel like I didn't watch that match, but I probably should have. Is that Ultimo Guerrero? Like the guy who wrestled Atlantis?
Yes. That's all. Some of it. Ultimo's indie stuff. That's all super fun. Like him and the Kai.
I kind of remember him showing up sometimes in place. Yeah, I guess I kind of forgot that happened. But yeah, I'm a big fan of him.
I'm a big fan. I love Ultimo Guerrero.
That match with Atlantis is really good.
He's fucking great. He's just also a doofus. That's fine.
Yeah.
Who cares? It's pro wrestling, man.
Yeah. So all right.
I've never seen Tony Khan blade, and he's a dumber guy.
We're gonna get there. It's gonna happen eventually.
It's gotta happen.
It's gotta do it. I don't know. I don't know who his Austin is the problem. It can't be Punk, unfortunately. It should have been, though. Think of the money. God damn it. Think of the money they could have made if he would have just gotten over it and had a fucking cage match with Phil Brooks. You big fucking idiot. But this is what happens when you've never wanted for anything. You've never needed anything in your life, so you don't actually know what, how any of it works. So how would you know how to make money if you never actually had to make money?
He was born with a paved paradise.
Yes. And he doesn't know how to take a fucking path less traveled. It's a sad thing. So this is a multi-camera, thankfully, because it is truly just 8 guys wandering in pairs. And they're all dressed alike, and they all brawl kind of the same. So luckily the cameras are right in the action. And so this is the thing I love about this one is we see parts of this building in this match like that you would never see of other venues. Like we are fully wandering. Sometimes we've seen all of Korakuen because like DDT's done like things where they've deliberately shown every part of Korakuen in a 60-minute brawl.
Like FMW matches where people get trapped in an elevator.
Yeah. This is like a thing. Yeah. So this is they do this like that. This is like there's a level of comedy to it. There's like a girl in a Gap hoodie working the concessions who gets scared to death by Drako and
God,
Demus.
it's like I worked so hard to make that guacamole. You better not fuck up my guacamole.
Yeah. Ciclope comes over and he's got skewers sticking out of his head, and she's trying to sell a fucking hot dog.
I think there's like 2 different concession stand workers. There's like areas. That's great. I've seen there's some good stuff within the Wotan Defunto feud with concession stand stuff there, but like this was like the best view of that I've ever seen, and I love that kind of stuff. That is so cool.
Well, you love the idea that it could get messy
that doesn't
too,
ever get old to me.
The cum bucket, right? The milk bucket from the IWRG,
the suds.
Yeah, and just like a bucket with a bunch of full beer bottles in it getting hurled. Like just anytime you have a possibility of introducing liquid, which is the thing with the beer, the people handing a cup and they hurl it at the fucking other guy's head. It's just so perfect, and you don't get it in American wrestling because I don't know, I don't know, we don't trust each other enough or something. You're afraid that if you do that, the wrestler's gonna come fucking fight you because we're all insane, and I don't know.
People will share a blunt, but they won't like pass a beer. I guess it's just that we're cheap.
Oh man, yeah, that's very true. that's on the bumper sticker.
Yeah, the beer's cost. I mean, the beer probably is cheaper here. So if yours gets donated to the match.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, well I guess I'll go get another one.
Yeah.
Whereas in America, if fucking Ethan Page steals your beer and throws it at someone, that's like $7 or whatever, right?
not at the Knights of Columbus Hall in LaSalle. $2 PBRs, man. You think they still do that?
That's the rule. It is the rule that you gotta sell the cheapest beer you can in pro wrestling, just because you're not. It's like going to a ball game. You're not there because the beer's good. You're there because to have the beer anyway.
Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of it.
Yeah.
No, it's just wonderful when they throw the full cup of beer. There's really nothing else like it.
The plastic cup flying.
Yeah.
Like just clanging about, like just so silly.
It's like great. It's like a transgressive thing that it's like you're not allowed to do that in America because it's going to make a mess or something. What if it gets on somebody's clothes? Or
a kid or something.
A little kid, what if a little kid?
Oh, God.
And meanwhile, in
that
Mexico,
was the best moment of MJF's fucking title run. Kid looked thirsty.
Yeah, no, right, no, sure. There's not enough of it. So this, Demus is in the ring, and they got this big metal box, which I don't know what this big metal box is. I thought it might have been a trash can, but it's like a perfect obelisk almost. Sort of an obelisk, I guess, is how I would describe it. It's like a perfect almost cube. And I thought maybe it was a filing cabinet with the drawers pulled out because it kind of flexes and flops like that sort of metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but later guys get slammed on it, and it doesn't, collapse.
Yeah, well, filing cabinets are pretty tough, though. I think that's what I think. I think that amount of metal will it'll give only to a certain point, and then there's no more give after a while. Like it's just like we'll see with the chair in the next match.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a big box. It's a big metal box that they hit each other in the head with. Yeah, and I'm sure this was a blast to witness live. It was hard for me to write notes on, not just because I was tired, but the most fun I've ever had watching a match live was that fucking Cruel versus Mickey versus Schlack versus Sadiko four-way from, I think it's August 20th, 2022. I think I have the date right. The afternoon show.
Yeah, somewhere around there, yeah.
And it's just a total all over the place, and I was just running around following people and watching shit as close up as I could. I have not watched that on video. I bet I'm on camera a number of times, I guess, now that I think about it.
There's some sick stuff. I watched it. I had to go back and watch it because you only
can't see shit. Yeah,
what's going on right there?
Yeah, I saw a bit. I saw as much as I earned with how hard I ran around trying to follow it. It was one of the greatest wrestling experiences of my life. All right, so Demus gets a hot babyface moment. He hits the Quebradora, throws the filing cabinet at somebody's head. He really enjoys throwing that thing around, it seems like Demus does. All right, and this is where, as 10 minutes, 8 seconds into the video, is where the shot of a pile of what looks to be actual shit in the ring. And I don't know how it got there. It's too big of a clump to have come off of somebody's shoe.
It fell out of the thing.
It fell out of the thing.
So how did it get in the thing?
So that brings us to the next question. Was this not a filing cabinet? Was this some sort of porta toilet?
That's a very...
But there was nothing else in it except for this
one big pile of shit.
Frank Geary's fucking porta potty.
Yes.
It's very modern art.
Yes.
If so.
Can anybody tell me why this toilet costs much? Oh yeah. It's a toilet.
God.
It's
the
a toilet.
Is obviously one of the best weapons in the history of pro wrestling.
Yes, yard call. Say it back. Yard call.
Yeah.
Yep. At some point, one of the macizos punches the referee for no reason.
It's very funny.
And then there's people getting yanked and dragged around, and Miedo's taking selfies with the woman in the crowd. Drako and Demus trade slaps in the ring. I believe it's Drako. Yeah, Drako.
Yeah, when they take their shirts off.
Yeah,
right?
This is great. This is the build up to the finish here. Drako teases the fat guy Tope, but sadly does not manage to get it. Both of the macizos do dives, big dives. They're working hard, harder than you've seen them work ever since. Because those guys have really fallen off. And then Drako does get a dive. He hits it's a second rope moonsault plancha to the floor. And he looks fat as hell doing it. It's awesome. And then I think he gets back in and finishes Demus with just a pretty clean spine buster, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was Corsario Negro.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it makes more sense that somebody would swap out. Drako wouldn't come back in after the moonsault. And that they all keep fighting. But it was crazy to me that Demus would take this clean pin off a nice but normal ass spine buster when he's wrestling Wotan and they got to do some bullshit. He won't lose clean in a fucking singles. It's funny. I love wrestling. I love it. I love the egos. I love that what these guys perceive as a showing weakness versus not. It's incredible.
Yeah, why? I mean, I get why Akuma's there, but if Akuma's there, he's taking the fall, right?
What is he doing there if not to wear the shirt that says his name?
CMLL though?
He is now.
That shouldn't matter.
Was he gone for a minute? He might have been gone for a minute.
He might have been. Yeah, if he was gone then and working this because he's like the eighth guy here, which is it's very weird for a CMLL guy of any stature to just be the eighth guy.
I guess I didn't consider that. He was maybe still working for them.
But it does feel like it should just be his brother taking the fall,
Yeah. I don't know. I really like this. I really like the team of Drako and do they have a name? Drako, Corsario, Negro, Fresero, and Demonio.
Oh shit!
Yeah, Fortaleza.
Fortaleza. I like their shirts. I want to get one. There should be more. It should be easier to get Lucha shirts, I feel like. You know?
Yeah.
Do you have any Lucha Libre shirts, John?
Yeah, I got a Fishman shirt when I went to Mexico, and I got a Demus shirt and
Nice.
LA Park.
Nice.
I have a Demus and a Peralta Morgan.
Nice. I didn't know that.
Nice.
I've got a Zona 23 shirt. That's it. But
There you
Oh
go.
yeah,
I guess I've got the Kikutaro shirt. He's worked Mexico.
he counts.
Forget I got that Kikutaro 2 days in prison, 2 night stay in prison shirt. That was a fundraiser for Kikutaro. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
So this match, when it starts, and there's just guys everywhere. They go up in the balcony. It's very claustrophobic, right? It's like, like being in a submarine or something, but with these just like fat guys slapping each other instead.
Yeah. Well, in the balcony shots, you can tell how little space there is, even for fans to sit. Like, it doesn't seem great. Not a bad seat in the house, but
up there.
yeah. Oh man, yeah. It's a cool.
And then, like in these types of matches, like Survivor Series matches or something, you always like to think like, oh, we got a game plan, right? There's 4 of us, and so they immediately pair off, right? And it's Fresero going after Demus. Like, so the biggest guy, he's like, well, I'll take the little one. The rest of you do figure it out, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's the idea of going after Demus at all. He's just so scary.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is this is an 8-man tag also. I love just hey, more guys, let's just go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They should do it more often, where it's just like, I mean, I guess this is sort of the bread and butter of these, but this is a great example of it. And I guess that'll bring us to our main event, huh?
Main event time.
Main event time. This is, so we did the last 3 in chronological order, but this only seemed appropriate to go back for. It's Flystar versus Toxin from April 28th. Abril 28th. I don't know how to say 28th. 2018. It's from Mexa Wrestling. Go ahead.
Yeah, the name of the show was hold on. What was the name of the show? Blood Party.
I was very happy with Blood Party. Yeah.
Blood Party. I mean, you boil it down. Keep it simple. I like it. It's like WrestleMania. Wow. What a great name. Blood Party. I love it. This one, of course, presented to us on the channel Hector Godfrey TV. The best version of one of the best matches that I've ever seen. No, I don't know. I love this match. I really find this match to be so wonderful, even though it's got moments of slow and clunky and, there's some strikes that might not be as hard as they should be occasionally. But I think this match and this specific version of it, I watched this match, I think also edited with multiple cameras at some point too.
Yeah.
And this is the one, though. This is the stuff here. Shot from the balcony, right?
Yeah.
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 And the video starts, and in the first 2 seconds of the video, chair shot to the head.
Yeah, it's unprotected chair shots. Yeah, so
We're
you
off.
know what you're getting into, right? Once it starts, right?
It's just so nice when it, Ray Liotta's narration comes on or whatever, like whatever the great openings of a movie,
Yeah.
like it's perfect. Let's go. We're fucking racing to the races. We're racing to the races. Flystar still has his mask here and would lose it, of course, to Toxin in their rematch from this match. This is a mano y mano super libre or whatever. And that is the mask versus mask match. And yeah, they were partners, right? Los Criminal Boys. Is that right?
Yes.
You said it, Mike. I couldn't remember if it was Los Criminal Boys. And then, of course, they have to fight each other for the mask. It's poetic. It's Lucha. And they that match in November is just as crazy as this one. I think most of us thought it was just a little less something. I don't know. Siobhan, were you the outlier? Is that what we were talking about?
I was the outlier, yeah, but I went with this. I decided we should go for this one just because if this was the match that people liked more, then I'm like, I mean, because I just, it was hard to pick. I remember that had the mask match had some fire spots. But they weren't like consequential, really.
I feel like there's just like more downtime maybe and less like I don't know. I think there's something. I didn't watch that one for this, but you know what? We're gonna cover that match at some point on the show too. So we'll get to that because that match is also wonderful, and these guys are fucking awesome. Flystar and Toxin are both fucking awesome. They are. I mean, at this point, they're like current generation, but at this time in 2018, it really felt like this is like the next generation of like crazy motherfuckers from Mexico.
Yeah, definitely.
Are willing to do anything, are not necessarily deathmatch guys, but are not afraid to do it. Like, and since then, you know, they've wrestled a lot. There's a lot of good matches with these guys. Maybe it hasn't been, you know, all great. The pandemic happened. Obviously, a lot of stuff happened. But wasn't Toxin was just on in that big trios match, right, from West Coast Pro that everybody was gifting?
He was. I didn't watch the match, but he was. Yeah.
Yeah, him and Iron Kid are both being like claimed for as like West Coast Pro guys. So he's getting bookings, which is good. It's good to see.
Well, Toxin's in AAA now.
Yeah, right. Where's Flystar? How's Flystar doing?
Flystar doesn't seem to work anywhere but Zone 23.
Well, goddamn, that's fine by me. I'll have to.
Well, he retired for like a month. What? Someone died, right? On a show, and like Flystar retired, but then didn't something. I can't remember.
Yeah, there's weird stuff like that. I remember. Was it Acero or something like that? Who died? I don't want to just say a name. Because it was a name where I'm like, oh, I know that name, but I'm not sure I know that guy.
Yeah, Acero. I was trying to find it. No, I can't find shit. I'm sorry. I'm so bad at this. I should come prepared for these things. When I look that up, it's just a bunch of Pokemon stuff. Acero. So unfortunately, I do not have the answer.
But yeah, Flystar seems to only work Zona 23. Some of these guys from that era is weird. Like Iron Kid, he used to be everywhere, and now he works like Lucha meme shows, and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, they're getting older or whatever. Maybe they, but the pandemic, I think, slowed down a lot of people's momentum. I do think that. Flystar. He should be getting booked also in West Coast Pro. But unfortunately, they don't have like wooden milk crates and shit there, so he wouldn't know.
I mean, this is just we're calling out to Chris Hero.
Yeah. I don't know. Did you guys watch the Hero matches?
Not yet.
No interest. Yeah. Isn't that funny though? That's the level of interest. Whatever. It's free on YouTube. I'll get to it. Like, fuck, man. That's where we're at now. All right, so Flystar still has his mask. He doesn't have the full crazy sleeve tattoo yet. That's where I noticed that. Immediately, we're 15, 30 seconds into the video, and Toxin lifts fireman style, lifts Flystar up, tells the crowd to move, waves them off. But the guy in the audience doesn't move, and instead pats himself on the chest as though he wants to have Flystar Death Valley drivered onto him. So that's what Toxin does. Fucking DVTs him into a bunch of fucking fans, and it's absurd. And the crowd loves it. Like, they're chanting for him, and the air horns are crazy. Full drink cup, throws it at Flystar's head. Crowd chants Puto at Flystar, and then Toxin DVDs him into the crowd again.
Yeah.
Like, without warning this time. He was just like, well, they liked it over there. I'm going to do it over here. Hey, you remember what I did over there? Here we go.
Hey. For the record, I think it was Principe Aero.
That I remember. That's the guy who died. All right.
That passed away.
Yep. I remember.
Yeah, like an aneurysm or something.
All right. I'm glad we, it's worth
Rest
coming
in peace,
back
bro.
to make sure we got the right name. It's worth coming back to. Principe Aero. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
R.I.P. So DVDs him into the crowd again, and we're 3 minutes into the match, and he's DVD'd him into the crowd twice. And then there's a person there's like two people in the crowd trying to hand the plastic milk crates to Toxin. But he waves him off, and then there's people like trying to there's like three different people trying to hand him their beers to throw at Flystar. Like they're all like he's Jesus Christ or something, you know? They're all trying to fucking give him their beers, which is what happened with Jesus, right? When he went to San Juan Ponce.
That's my knowledge.
Hey, Jesus, they say down there. Toxin hits. He sets up two wooden crates. These wooden crates, which I must define, I suppose, as saying they're about the size of a case of beer, the shape of a case of beer, like a box that size, but they're made of shitty wood. They're made of the world's shittiest wood. And he then sets them up on the ground. He props some other boards on them at a 45-degree angle, sort of, facing the edge of the ring. They go to the apron, and it's all bad ideas. This is all, like, Toxin... I think Toxin's going to give him a fucking... no, he's going to give him a Spanish fly.
Or Spanish fly or something, but then they change their mind.
Yeah. He takes him in the ring. It's... They go back in the ring. Toxin gives him a snapmare and a soccer kick to the back, which is so stupid. And sick chair shot to the head, another chair shot. This is where he rips a big chunk of Flystar's mask off, and it's really interesting because he doesn't grab it with two hands and tear. He just grabs it like he puts his like fingers in the eye holes, and he just yanks, and it rips a big chunk of his mask right off. Like it's like it was almost planned or something. I don't know if it was, but it was cool. And he just throws it into the crowd. It's really cool. And then he hits him with another chair shot.
And so Flystar starts bleeding a ton here, right?
Yeah, this is where he bleeds. It's right there.
Yeah.
Right after the mask rip.
Toxin has this white T-shirt that somehow doesn't seem to get blood on it at all. But there's like a puddle of blood in the corner, like a legitimate puddle.
So what happens there, he puts him in the Tree of Woe, and he gives him the Tommy Dreamer baseball slide. And so that's the classic hang a guy upside down right after he bladed.
Yeah.
And so it's just a massive puddle. And yeah, I guess Toxin kind of was able to stay away because he did the world's softest hardcore move, the Tommy Dreamer sliding Tree of Woe baseball slide. Yeah, but the puddle is... substantial. I love it when they do that, when they hang upside down. Toxin, all right, this is where he takes him to the apron, goes for the Spanish fly again. A la Little Sicko and Obey, of course, from the Carnage Cup. Flystar gets the advantage, though, and Toxin is left to sort of sit hanging off the apron, back to the floor, legs in the ring. It's a Lucha Libre style setup. You don't really see this setup in American wrestling very much. But he's sort of hanging there, and Flystar comes with a low-pay spear. I don't know.
It's gross.
A Biggie Langston, but lower.
Yeah.
And so he through the bottom and middle, spearing him off the apron into the milk crates, which I don't think really broke. They just sort of fly out from underneath. Not so much breaking Toxin's fall as much as stepping aside. The milk crate suddenly step aside. And it's sick. It's fucking awesome. The sound is really good when they hit. It's great. And then Flystar takes Toxin to the floor, rips his shirt off and slaps him on the chest. Someone hands him a cup and he throws it in his face. You know, same song. Fireman carry me into the Michinoku driver. This is where it is, right? That's the move you were talking about earlier, right, Siobhan?
Yeah.
Fireman into the Michinoku driver on just the... So he walked him over to the padding around the ring, but it didn't look like it was padding. It kind of just looked like they put some wood on top of the concrete. Couldn't really tell. But that's a horrible bump. Yeah, I don't know. This
match, it's got its flaws. Like sometimes they sort of just kind of don't seem to know it. Well, I mean, we'll get into it. Toxin seems like he's out of it at the end of the match.
Yeah.
But the way it's set up is Toxin's in control, just brutalizing Flystar, and then Flystar gets control and does literally the same moves back to Toxin. Right? It's like
it's weird.
No, I think that is the point though.
Yeah.
he's like sort of lifts him up for a tiger driver sort of thing, and just drops him face first under the milk crate in the ring, the wooden crate.
Like an angel's wings.
Yeah, but he doesn't even drop with him. He just throws him down from the angel's wings position. Like the bare abdomen of Toxin crashing into the splintery, like shitty wood. Immediately after this spot, you see a nasty mark on his right side. Not a cut, like just like an instant bruising. And yeah, then this is Flystar does the mask ripping and starts going after Toxin with the chair shot, and then gets the fucking Magnum TA piece of wood, basically. Although this is more, he did it more like a Nick Gage style. This is like a homicide stabbing, Homicide the Wrestler, more than a Terry Allen, I guess, the way he does it. But Siobhan, you remember the rematch? It's October, I think. It's actually October. Don't they do fire like in the first minute or some shit?
Yes. Yeah. Like.
Do you remember?
Can.
Yeah. Man, these guys are sick. They are really sick. I don't know. We got to watch that match too. Honestly, now I'm curious. I got to go back to it. But yeah, he gives him the same moves. He does the Tree of Woe and the Tommy Dreamer dropkick. He certainly does. Toxin didn't cut as good, right? Would we say the blade job on Toxin is not satisfactory?
Well, yeah, maybe also his mask is like more, kept together, so that might have been part of it too.
I could see that. Yeah. So
we should also, they each have a second in this match, but they didn't seem to come out with them.
Well, and they factor only into the end and only a little bit. Hilariously, actually. Yeah, that is true. They don't establish themselves very well. And this was also like the first one of these, I think, matches from this building that I'd ever seen. I don't think I'd ever seen Flystar or Toxin at all. So I went into this the first time I watched this match just like, who is who? What is this? Like, oh my god, what the fuck? But yeah, they have this chair. I want to talk about this chair. Because you ever have like a piece of furniture in your house that like outlives its, like why is this thing still here? Like the fucking armrest is like chewed up from a dog that I had like 10 years ago. Like this chair goes through it. What was the table, Siobhan? The Memphis table?
Oh god, the Memphis table that were just like at Jerry Jarrett's dinner table. Might as well have been. That seems to have just been around for 6 years.
I feel like we didn't dwell enough on that fucking Memphis table and how it probably is still standing.
Yeah, that's like in fucking one of Jeff Jarrett's kids' fucking apartments or something.
Yeah, and like they had to like get 4 people to try to move it up the stairs. Yeah, this chair does not fare quite as well as that table, but this chair is just like they keep hitting each other with the same chair. Like what's left of the chair kind of feels like by the 15-minute mark of this video, it's fully developed into like a different weapon. Like the matter has transformed, and then he sets it up in the corner low with a wooden crate sort of propped up against it. And they do a little sequence here. Toxin slides to avoid hitting it, and they do this awesome, like Flystar attempts a tornado DT, but Toxin stops him and hits him with the Northern Lights into the corner, into the chair in the crate. But the crate has slipped down. So Flystar kind of clears the crate on the initial flip, tailbowed hard on the chair, and then whiplashes back, head and neck, milliseconds later, going through the wooden crate.
It's wonderful. Yeah, it went from a somewhat dangerous back bump through the crate to something that really, like, no one should be breaking wood with their neck, right? That's not.
In a domino effect
like a terrible idea.
Yeah, it really
nails
is.
And shit there.
It really is the whiplash of his head going back. It cracks that wood. It's just just awful. Toxin then has a bag of thumbtacks, but it appears to be about 50 thumbtacks, which seems unnecessary, but sure, kid, go ahead. And he, of course, gets the move immediately reversed, and I think it takes Jade Cargill's finish into the tacks, I guess, is how I would describe it.
Yeah, it's like a pedigree without dropping down, right?
It's not a pedigree. It's no, that was the other one. That was the milk crate.
Oh, that was the other. Yeah.
This was like a lifting, like a tiger lift up and then just drop him straight forward, like Beth Phoenix's old move, but without.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows Beth Phoenix. I don't know why I said that. Beth Phoenix. What the fuck? Shouts out to Adam Copeland.
Rated R superstar.
So there's some shots here that definitely could have been laid in a little harder, but mostly it's all made up for, because shit like Toxin does like this, his incredible tope. He does like it's the senton to the floor like we talked about earlier, but he does it running, and it's insane. He hits so hard with an absolute, like, the noise that he doesn't hit the ground, like he hits all Flystar, perfect impact, like severe impact, and Flystar like lets out the kind of sound.
Chair on too, right? Did he?
That's on the next one. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
Flystar comes back and does it to him with the chair on him.
Oh, right.
Or the pieces of what the chair used to be. Yeah. The sound is awful though when on this first one, the one that Toxin hits on him, and then back in. That chair, he hits him in the fucking face with it. The chair, it's like the chair should be useless. It should be garbage by now. Like, you couldn't sit in it, but they use every part of the chicken or every part of the buffalo, every part of the chicken.
Sure.
Every part of the chicken. They use every part of the chicken. But then they get a new chair. Okay, they finally get a new chair. Toxin places Flystar's head on it and does the stupid fucking Rollins stomp. But in the process,
I was going to say it's the fucking Rollins stomp, not a curb stomp.
It's called a Rollins stomp. The SRS, the Seth Rollins stomp. Shouts out. But in the process of hitting the worst move in wrestling, he bounces off the ropes, and his foot catches on the black plastic bag that he had the 50 thumbtacks in. Yeah. So he ends up hitting the trash stomp onto an open chair with a bag on his foot. Fucking burn it down.
It's crazy.
Burn it down. He goes for another one and misses, but then he hits his own fucking Hiromu pump handle psycho driver thing onto the open chair. But the chair provides no landing. It really just buckles, and then Flystar lands in one of maybe the worst head drop bumps I've ever seen.
It's really bad. It's nasty. It's great.
Doesn't rotate. He doesn't. No. His legs don't go over. Like, it's just. It's like it. How do you not have a broken collarbone or something? Ugh. I don't know. I yelped for that one, and that was the one where my daughter was like, "What are you doing?" Which is like the classic, I'm trying to watch a wrestling match at 7:45, and you're getting dressed for school. You do your thing. I'm doing my thing. All right, leave me alone for a second. But then, all right, so they have a real earned sense of fatigue here. So there's a lot of like main event lucha matches where it'll be like the two guys are like, "Oh, so tired." And it's like, well, yeah, you've been wrestling 20 minutes, but it's not really been that much.
Right.
Like Rayo de Jalisco is like, looks like he's been through it, but he's only taken like 4 bumps. This is not that. So they've been going hard as hell nonstop, and Flystar manages to get Toxin to the floor and puts the busted chair on him, hits the same move. The flipping Senton Atomiko on the grounded opponent on the floor, just absurd. Onto the chair, which also again barely resembles a chair.
Yeah.
If you asked a child what that was, they would not say chair. It looks like a chair that like the atomic testing facilities where they'd set up the houses. It looks like a chair that was in one of those fucking things. It's literally scrap metal. Like, it's just nothing. I'm putting chair in quotes at this point in my notes. They go back in. They start hitting each other with the milk crates.
This is the point where Toxin seemed not all there, right?
Yeah.
Like, didn't he start to wander off and like have to get like guided back into the
I think maybe that's why the seconds come into play.
It's right after this. You know what? It's right after this. It's all right. So I think I clocked it. All right. So they do the milk crates. And it's the classic where they break through. They hit the guy with the milk crate and follow through, and then leave it hanging on their neck so it dangles. They each do one of those perfectly, and then they each go to the corner, and their seconds hand them each a beer bottle. They run to the middle of the ring, and the in stereo shatter them over each other's heads. It's kind of like a standard like modern final showdown in a wrestling match where they run and they go for, it's like Hogan and Warrior with a double clothesline. Except it's milk crates and beer bottles.
It's a lot like that.
Yeah, I compare a lot of things to that match. I've begun to notice. And then they're both down, and then the ring is covered in fucking trash, and it's awesome. And then this is where Toxin starts talking to the ref, and the ref is checking this new wound that he suffered halfway down the left side of his abdomen. He's bleeding like really bad from this. This is where he goes out and he starts walking around holding his arm up and showing people that he's like bleeding, like John Rare bleeding, like bad bleeding. And then I guess he decides that he's okay.
When he starts building shit.
Yeah, he starts setting fucking crates and chairs up. This is where the second comes in, and the Toxin second. This is where Toxin second comes in and tries to fight with Flystar. And he's got a shirt on that says "Toxin is big bastard."
Yeah,
that's
one of the better Lucha shirts. Yeah.
There's no article here. Toxin is big bastard. 4 words.
Yeah, no commas.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. He interferes and fights with someone, I think, and then goes after Flystar a little bit. But he kind of wanders off, I guess, with Flystar second, who again we don't see.
We should talk about Flystar second. I have no idea who this guy was. He was wearing like a weird fetish mask or something.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was a fetish mask or if it was, La Sombra's like black mask.
Yeah.
I never know what they're up to in Mexico with that stuff. I don't know if they're into that. They're into that everywhere, obviously, right? BDSM, they got that everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, that guy was like unnerving. I don't know what. It was very odd.
Yeah, Flystar has all those tattoos.
He was just there.
He seems like he might be a freak. I don't know. Flystar seems like he could be the type. Los Criminal Boys. What are they getting up to? You got to wonder what crimes they've committed. Yeah, Toxin's bleeding real bad, and they go on the floor, and then they kind of just they kind of force each other down to their knees. Like they both kind of just like they start trading overhand chops, but then they like immediately are like, all right, let's go down let's get down here. and Toxin like seems to be telling Flystar to remove his shirt. That's how I read it. Because Flystar removes the shirt, and then Toxin is like telling him lower the straps. So he lowers the straps, puffs his chest out, and then they trade chops and eventually shoot fucking headbutts on their knees.
Yeah.
Just like, fucking Fugo Yumeji, fucking like Keita Yano, the best shoot headbutts in a nasty environment you can imagine.
It's just disgusting.
It's so cool. It's so cool. These are the moments that really put the whole match over the top. And then they get into the finish. Toxin sets up some fucking contraption of chairs and crates and boards, and Flystar.
I have no idea what that like. It looks like it's metal. The big white one.
There's a big. It looks like metal. There's some. It looks like shelves off of a bookshelf.
Yeah.
But like that broke, like half of a shelf. And then there's like 4 pieces of wood or whatever on top of a stack of, I think, 4 chairs and 2 crates that are kind of level, right? Also, there's a part where Flystar throws one of these boards at Toxin and knocks him over, and he knocks over half the chairs that Toxin just set up, which is so fucking awesome to ruin it and then have to do it again. And then, it's hard to picture what they're going to do here. And it's hard to imagine it, even if somebody told you what they're going to do. They go right underneath the camera and they trade chops again, hard chops, right like the person is pointing down from the balcony directly on top of them. It's awesome. And then Flystar gives him a cute little super kick, Nick Jackson style. And Toxin sort of lays on the Bubba Ray Dudley style, lays on the on the boards, and Flystar goes up to the top. Toxin gets up though. They're both on the second rope. They go to the top, which I just couldn't believe that they were actually going to the top with this, because there's really no reason to. You really don't have to go off the top. You can do it off the second.
Or off the apron even, right?
Could have done it off the apron.
Yeah.
Like you teased earlier in the match. You never got to that spot. You haven't done that spot yet. There's no reason to go to C when you haven't gotten to B. Except, also, why not? Fuck it. You know, the reason is fuck it.
Yeah.
And he gives him fucking Spanish fly off the top to the floor. Maybe the biggest Spanish fly I've ever seen that wasn't the scramble cage match from Ring of Honor 03 or whatever, right?
Right.
Which I think literally broke Jose's ankle.
God.
Something like that. Or it broke one of the Special K guys' ankle. I don't know. And it's... I'd say they overshoot it a little bit.
Oh, it's not a good landing. I don't know if there was a good landing, but this definitely wasn't it.
I think landing towards the middle would have been better.
Unless there were like nails in this or something. We don't know.
Who knows? Hard to say what didn't happen. We only know what did happen. Oh, so they kind of overshoot it. Toxin, of course, being the one doing the Spanish fly, basically moonsaults the concrete floor is what he does. He doesn't touch the wood hardly at all. His knees and his ankles and the tops of his feet smack the fucking ground super hard. And meanwhile, Flystar's bump, it's all ass on the concrete, but his upper body does smash the boards. So they did hit the spot, and it looks awesome. He pins him. It's over. That's the match, and it's a good finish. But they went... could have been a little safer. I think it could have been a little safer with it, is all I'm saying. No, I don't know. They went off the top. They overshot. I think you go off the second, it probably would have been perfect. But it wouldn't have been as awesome. I wouldn't have felt the need to talk about it for 5 minutes if they had gone through the middle of it and been fine. What if they were fine?
Yeah. Well, after the match, it's like, yeah, Toxin goes in the ring and Flystar's just laying there, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, and Toxin, it's great. The file ends with they're chanting ole, 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 Toxin, Toxin. They're handing him dollars, like throwing money in the ring. And on the floor,
little kids are coming up to him.
Yeah. On the floor, Flystar is dead, and his second is waving the towel in front of his face to cool him off. It's perfect lucha libre. It's 5 stars, despite flaws that we pointed out. It is 5 stars. This is a great match. Yeah. It's got it all. They did it all. There's no balcony dives in this show. How did we not have a balcony dive?
No, we talked about it. So Salmon Pentilon, when I first noticed him was probably like 2014 or something, when one of the Ninja Turtles did a dive off a moonsault off the balcony. Leo, I think.
Cool.
God.
Cool. I don't know. I don't think I've seen that. That sounds great. Your spreadsheet doesn't go back that far, right?
No, it doesn't. And I tried finding that match. I couldn't find it.
So much of that, fuck. Siobhan will be the first to tell you about matches from 2014 Lucha that are no longer on the internet.
Yeah.
Am I right, friend?
Yeah, man. Cork and Hall, man.
Cork and Hall, man. Yeah, it's so funny that we've got that, and the match we're talking about. It's very funny.
I searched Kaifon and
yeah, Karante.
Yeah, Karante. I search YouTube for that like once every other week just to see if it comes.
We appreciate it.
Same.
I always imagine I'm gonna wake up every day I come to your door and I hope that you're not there. This is gonna be our moment, man. One day I'm gonna wake up to a DM from you and it's gonna be that match.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, thanks for coming on, pal.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. This is
great
fun.
Episode.
We'll have you on again. We don't have to talk about Lucha. We can talk about whatever. But it's been a long time coming, and I'm sorry it took so fucking long.
Yeah. Talk about Chris Hero matches we haven't watched or whatever.
Yeah, hey, we're gonna, the grapple fuck episode it exists somewhere in the timeline of the show. We're gonna do it. It's gonna happen. But no, man, I should have had you on years ago. I don't know. I feel silly now to think that that this is the first podcast we've done together. Fucking ridiculous.
Well, it's fun. It's been fun, and yeah, and anybody that like is listening to this, I mean, I imagine most people, know this shit, but there's, just hit me up on Twitter or whatever if you want to find these matches. There's so many YouTube channels that record this shit and upload it, and it's all there, and it's just some of the wildest stuff going on in wrestling.
And you've done a great job of you know where to look. You know where to look as much as anybody else, more than anybody else that I know. Can we share the link? Is it public? Can I put the link in the notes?
Yeah, well, I'll send you the link. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, you don't need to send me your spreadsheet link. I have it bookmarked on multiple Google Chrome profiles. Yeah, man. I think I had it. I actually had a shortcut straight to it from my home screen two phones ago. I'm not joking. 2019. That was a hell of a year for this list. That's where we got Fishman Wotan. Yeah, that was the year you and I became friends.
The Fishman Wotan stuff.
They got to come back to it. Maybe they will.
Maybe.
We got to get to a show together, man. Next summer, all right?
Yeah. NGI seems to have left Chicago, so.
Yeah, and they're doing it New Year's Eve, I guess, too. So.
Yeah, and these ICW shows, it's like they're running.
Berwyn.
Yeah, Berwyn.
I don't want to go to the fucking Eagles Club. No way. I saw one show there. I don't ever want to go there again.
Oh, I went there. Yeah, I thought I was going to die. It's horrible.
It sucks. Fuck that building. Shouts out Mike Stocks can talk all day about how fucking bad the Berwyn Eagles Club is. Yeah. He warned me. I couldn't believe it. And then I ran into him there, of course. Oh. Folks, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for giving us your valuable time. And I hope it's rewarding. I hope you take the knowledge that you've learned today and you use it well. I don't know. Watch some fucking Lucha Libre. It's weird. It's not like other wrestling, and it might take you a minute to figure out the things you like about it. But Lucha's good. Lucha's deep.
Lucha's great.
And it's just like American wrestling. It's got a lot of different facets, and you'll find your thing. A lot of fucking weirdos in Lucha. It's cool. All right. Find us on Twitter at Touching Blood. John on Twitter at Another Spammer. Instagram, Wrestling is Gross. Touching Blood on TikTok. Wrestling is gross.vsky. So I don't know the fuck that one is. Send us an email, wrestlingisgross@gmail.com. Send us an email, send us something weird, send us a correction or a question or a suggestion. Send us a picture of your penis. I don't care. I just want to get an email. Anyone, please. Send us an email.
Describe the dick. I mean,
We'll do it. We'll do an episode on your penis. That's the promise.
Show me your penis or do a flip.
Show me your penis or do a backflip, yeah. Okay, Death to America.
Death to America.
Yeah, now more than ever, Death to America.
Absolutely. Had enough of it. Thank you all for listening. And John, I'll talk to you soon, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
And then Brazil plays. You've listened to the show.